Setting up. Okay, we're live.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Jampot Adda. Firstly, apologies for the delay. It is our very first attempt, and we ran into some technological glitches. You know how technology is. It springs surprises when you least expect it. Anyway, coming back to what we are here for, we have come together on this platform to share our love and memories of our very special hometown, Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur, or Jampot as we fondly call it, is a place in time that is happy and innocent, full of unadulterated joy and boundless laughter. It evokes memories of an idyllic childhood where simple things mattered, where catching a dragonfly or playing chibudi till late into the night or shaving off a kadam ka fool was the high point of our existence. Or taking a ride with the neighboring uncle on his Lambretta in the evening was much reason to get excited. Or the arrival of a television set at a neighbor's house. That was reason enough to celebrate too. Everyone knew everyone, and it was like a big, large family. We may have had a dearth of materialistic things, but what we had in abundance was the strength of our bonding and the love of our friends and neighbors. The city gave us everything it had and made us who we are. Hence, we are here today to celebrate that same spirit of bonding, oneness, and togetherness. A brainchild of a bunch of Jamshedpurians, the Jampot Adda was conceived by Jamshedpurians for Jamshedpurians to provide a platform to the infinite talent that this city boasts of, and to bring together accomplished performers, singers, musicians, and people from different walks of life who have made a name for themselves. Today, we have something exciting lined up for all of you. We have with us some talented singers who will regale us with their music, and then a conversation with a very famous author and politician, all of who have one thing in common, a place they call home, Jamshedpur. So let me introduce you to the first singer of the evening, a B high-grade artist of All India Radio, an impaneled artist of ICCR, who has performed not only in India, but abroad too. Please join me in welcoming Sujan Chatterjee.
Hello. Hi, friends.
Hi. Hi, Sujan. Yeah, so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to know a little bit about your musical journey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, I'm just saying, I've started my musical journey from my childhood, and it has started from my home because my father was a great musician, and my brother, my sister, all they were the best musician of Jamshedpur one time. And I was inspired by them and started music in very, it was the age of 10, 11 years. Okay. Then gradually I just started learning music because I love to learn ghazals. And
Okay.
this is my subject actually. I started ghazal and taking talim from my guru Sri Tilochand Singh Tarana ji, Pandit Sikam Badri ji, and after that 25, 30 years I took talim from my guru Pandit Arup Banerjee and a renowned singer of the country, Vidushi Srimati Pradya Banerjee. Still I'm just under guidance by her. And the thing is, I love singing actually. It doesn't matter what subject I am singing. Love whatever the music I love. I actually it is my love. First love is music. So let's and the blessings of God, blessings of my gurus, and all the senior singers and all. And I don't know where I'm getting that platform or not, but I whatever God placed me, it is beyond my expectation actually, beyond my expectation. I love
That's so
to
nice.
sing and I try to enjoy, make enjoy the others, so they love my song. It is my luck, my fortunate. Thank you.
So we are ready to hear you. We are all set and excited. So whenever you are
Okay.
ready, we are good to go.
It is a wonderful number of Kishore Kumar ji. So I'm
Lovely.
just going to sing that song. Bhi chalo, hum bhi chale, that song. Okay, let's start.
Lovely. Very nice.
चलती रहे जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी राह में मंजिल ना जिंदगी है जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी पीछे दिखना कभी मुड़ के राहों में हो झूमे मेरा दिल घूम लेके बाहों में हो धड़कनों की जुबान जित कहे आशिकां प्यार की छाँव में चलती रहे जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी बहते चले हम मस्ती के धारों में हो मुझे यही तुम सदा दिल के तारों में हो अब रुके ना कहीं प्यार का कारवां नित नई के रंग में ढलती रहे जिंदगी। तुम भी चलो हम भी चले, चलती रहे जिंदगी। जिंदगी है जिंदगी। तुम भी चलो हम भी चले, चलती रहे जिंदगी। I'm going to just sing the next song. Okay, this is a super hit song by the legend artist Kishore Kumar ji. मंजिलों पे आके लुटते है दिलों के कारवां। कश्तियां साहिल पे अक्सर डूबती है प्यार की। मंजिलें अपनी जगह है, रास्ते अपनी जगह। मंजिलें अपनी जगह है, रास्ते अपनी जगह। जब कदम ही साथ रास्ते अपनी जगह। जब कदम ही साथ ना दे तो मुसाफिर क्या करे। यूं तो है हम दर्द भी और हम सफर भी है मेरा। यूं तो है हम दर्द भी और हम सफर भी है मेरा। बढ़ के कोई हाथ ना दे दिल भला फिर क्या करे। मंजिलें अपनी जगह है, रास्ते अपनी जगह। डूबने वालों को जिनके सहारा ही बहुत, दिल बहल जाए फकत इतना इशारा ही बहुत। इतने पर भी आसमां वाला गिरा दे बिजलियां। कोई बदला दे बनाए धूप का फिर क्या करे। मंजिलें अपनी जगह है, रास्ते अपनी जगह। जुल्म है तो जुल्म हमसे हो गया, काबिल माफी हुआ करते नहीं ऐसे गुनाह, तंग दिल है ये जहाँ, तंग दिल मेरा क्या करे जो से जुआ हौसला फिर क्या करे, मंजिल अपनी जगह है, रास्ते अपनी जगह, जब कदम भी साथ ना दे तो मुसाफिर क्या करे।
Very nice. That was awesome, Sujan. Really enjoyable. Maza aa gaya.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So now we will move to our second singer for the evening. What can I say about her? We literally grew up together. We spent many an afternoon. We spent many an afternoon climbing trees and walking on the roofs of our bungalow. Never has a walk back from school taken as long as we did, because we spent so much time talking. We ate together, studied together, watched movies together. We even went to Pune later to study together. And now we are both in
homework together. Don't miss that out. We did homework together as well. Even though we were in different classes, we had different homework, but we did together yet still.
Absolutely. But while I was whiling my time away doing absolutely nothing of consequence, my dear friend Sonali persevered hard and pursued her passion to music and dance, and went on to get her bachelor's in both music and bachelor's in dance Kathak. And here she is today with us, the very talented Sonali Datta.
Thank you so much, Roopa. So wonderful to be being, you being the host for my singing. Yes, just you said it all. We've been together right from childhood, and we've been through Jamshedpur, Pune, now Mumbai. We've been to each other's weddings as well.
Yes.
Yes, so many memories come back whenever I think of you. You've been double cycling. I remember you used to cycle, and I used to always sit behind and down the slope, and it used to be great.
Yeah.
And whenever I went home, I used to never reach my home because she was cycling, so she used to go to her home, and I went along with her to her home. I never went to my home after that, and that's when we did our homework together and get together again all over again. Anyway, and in Mumbai also we've met over many times, and here I'm being fortunate enough to be being hosted by her. I will be today. I'm so happy to be here on the first episode of the Jampot Adda.
What are you singing for us today?
Pardon?
What are you singing for us today?
Yeah, my wish to be singing online, live, absolutely fulfilled today. And Kishore Kumar is the essence. He is not a one-day celebration. I'm sure all of you out there, big hi, hello to all you Jamshedpurians. I'm sure all of you are a fan of the great legend. So I shall quickly, do not have much time. So we'll plunge into the songs that I prepared. And the songs have been all home edited. Please do overlook all the flaws. The first song is starting it off. Sound coming fine, दीवाना लेके आया है दिल का तराना, दीवाना लेके आया है दिल का तराना, देखो कालिया ठुकरा न देना, We'll go into another song, and that's for Kishore, by Kishore only. Just a minute. This is a duet of Kishore with Datta. Kahi na ja. Kahi na ja, aaj kahi mat ja. फिर मिले ना मिले ये पल ये समा बाहों में आ जा कहीं न जा आज कहीं मत जा जमाना मेरा क्या करेगा ये जहां जाने वफा सच है किसी को पाता है मिले ना मिले ये पल ये समा कहीं न जाओ आग कहीं मच जाओ हे मिले ना मिले ये समा
Fabulous, fabulous, Sonali. It's one of my favorite songs, and you really sang it so well. बहुत मजा आया. खूब भालो, खूब भालो.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so all my dear friends from Jamshedpur, I hope you all are enjoying this evening of nostalgia with us. Once again, we apologize for the delay at the start of the show. It's our first time. Do overlook these flaws. It was a technical glitch which we had a little issue ironing out. But here we are, and I hope you are having as good a time as we are. So what we have next is a conversation with a very famous author and politician. He has published 10 best-selling novels. He's a blogger, he's an activist, and also a BJP spokesperson. But before we go into that, I would like you to know that once that is done, we will be back here again with Sujan and Sonali for some more gupshup and Gana Bajana. Anyway, let's welcome the writer and politician, Tuhin Sinha. You. Hello and welcome, Tuhin. It's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for taking out the time. It's a pleasure, like I said, and an honor.
Same here, Roopa. It's great to reconnect with Telcoites and with people from Jamshedpur, because that takes you back to a very pristine world which some of us have left behind or not managed to stay as much in touch with as we would have loved to. So it's always great to connect with people from the beautiful city of Jamshedpur.
Yeah, and you know, when I came to know that I was going to be in conversation with you, I was very excited. And then something struck me. I realized that we've had so many things in common, and yet we've never met. Our paths have never crossed. I mean, we grew up in Jamshedpur, we lived in Telco Colony, close to Telco Club and Nildi. We went to Loyola School. I was there only, of course, for 2 years, 11 and 12. We live in Mumbai. We've specifically...
You passed out of plus 2 in 92 or, sorry, 95.
No, 92.
92, yeah. Okay, I passed out in 95 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in Mumbai. We've specifically worked in the television industry, and it's actually very surprising that we've never met. But it's good to finally meet you.
Same here, same here.
So what I wanted to know is, when you hear the name Jamshedpur, what do you feel? What does it evoke in you?
Well, it takes you back to a very tranquil, a very pristine world, which it takes you back to utopia, if I may use that word. And the best part about Jamshedpur was that while it kind of protected you from a lot of adverse influences or a lot of consumerist influences, it had a beautiful hill town feel to it. But at the same time, it was in no ways not in sync with the progressive world. In fact, it had some of the most aspirational students and people growing up in that pristine, quiet, tranquil world have actually grown up to become some of the most competitive professionals. So I think the rare mix of a calmness with ambition, with aspiration, is what sets Jamshedpur apart, and what sets the people and inhabitants of Jamshedpur apart.
Yeah, so true. So tell us some of your earliest memories of Jamshedpur. Anything that you remember, because
We have lived in almost all parts of Telco Colony, starting from there used to be a rocket park. I don't know whether you are aware of it.
Yes, of course.
It's next to Chinmaya School. So starting from there, I spent the first 5 years in that area. And I remember that from the kitchen, we could actually see the river of the Riverview Colony.
Okay.
But because there wasn't much construction which had happened that side, it seemed like a very distant world. So, I remember when I would watch or when I would take a look at that distant firmament from the third floor kitchen window, I would always ask my mother if we could go to the Riverview. And today, of course, that Riverview is a very cluttered place. It's a very well-developed township of its own. Post that, we shifted to one of the M types. It was actually the other side of Karangajar. M5, if you remember. So
Yeah. I think I do.
Post that, Birsa Nagar, and then a K3 bungalow right next to the Little Flower Gate, and finally Neeldi. But then by the time we shifted to Neeldi, I was already in Delhi. I was studying, and I only remember going there for my holidays. So we have stayed in almost all parts of Telco Colony, and each of those parts have got some very beautiful memories. For example, the walk up to the Bhubaneswari temple, that had its own charm.
Absolutely. I remember many an evening being spent there doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just tapping.
Yeah. And at the same time, since I was in Loyola school, every day I would also travel outside Telco. Unlike many other students, I had that advantage of being in Telco during the evenings and being out of Telco during the days. And but the place was so well interconnected that I remember I had missed my bus at one point of time. You're from LFS or convent?
LFS.
Okay. So I had missed one of my bus at one point of time, and fortunately we had that system when we could get on to the other bus and then hitch a ride back home. But by the time I reached home, I saw my mom crying because. But then that was the beauty of that place. Everything was so well interconnected. People would be there to take care of you. You could just hop into another bus and tell the bus conductor, driver to drop you at a certain place. So I think that small town charm of Jamshedpur was in fact best demonstrated in Telco Colony. Yeah. Because Telco was a family of its own. So it was a town, it was a mini town within a mini town. But at the same time, when I think of it, it's not mini at all. I don't know the population of...
And it's such a wonder that now you're saying that you missed your bus and your mother was worried. We survived for so many years without telephones. Mobile is, of course, unthinkable, but we didn't even have landlines back then. And now we cannot do without our phones even for a few minutes, I think. We are in touch with whoever we want to be at every moment. Mm-hmm. And it's such a wonder that we used to do all kinds of things, and so often our parents had no inkling where we were, when we were going to get back, who we were with. It was like so amazing. So Yes.
Then the Durga Puja pandals, whether it was the N type Durga Puja or
Sabuj
the one just below Ram Mandir or the Sabuj Kalyan Singh. So all of that, those form some very beautiful memories when I look back at Jamshedpur.
Yeah. So talking of childhood, what was it that you dreamt of becoming when you were a little boy?
So I was one of those kids who did not conform to the conventional aspiration which parents in Telco colony had of bringing up their children to become engineers, doctors. So I always had some very wayward dreams. I would at times want to become an actor, at times want to become a cricketer. And in a way, I'm fortunate that when, my parents understood that, especially my mom understood that, and they never put that pressure on me to really perform well in studies. So I don't remember having ever come, in the top 10 in the class. And in Loyola, we never had that system of ranking. So I think that ranking system started only after standard 7. But even then, I don't remember having come in the top 10 at any point of time. And I always had these wayward dreams, sometimes of wanting to become a cricketer, sometimes of wanting to become an actor. I guess the fact that somewhere, even at that age, the realization that I was not, giving my parents that joy of claiming or boasting of my performance in classes, because that is what used to form the crux of most of our parents' conversations in those days, that my son is or my kid has got third rank or second rank or whatever. So somewhere, I guess that latent realization that I was not able to give them that joy actually made me more ambitious to try and explore unconventional pursuits in life. And fortunately, that streak stayed on till much later.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've made them more than proud with everything that you achieved now. So, so tell me, what kind of a student were you, or what kind of a child were you? Were you reserved? Were you playful, mischievous? What kind of a child were you?
The kind of child which does not leave a mark. So I was, you can call me a middle bencher who plays it safe, who's never in the news for either being the best student or being a very notorious student, who is a meanderer, who is in a world of his own, who's trying to explore things beyond what other students are doing. Yeah, that's that.
So it's in fact very reassuring, I'm sure, for everybody who's watching, that you don't need to be a super achiever right from the beginning. Even if you are average or you're not so good at studies, it's okay, because you never know how to learn.
But in fact, life has different plans for different people at different stages of life. So some of the people who have been very, like the best students at that point of time, have just deterred or have just floundered, maybe post 30 in their professional careers.
Right.
And those who have floundered at that point of time as a teenager have somehow gathered themselves post 25 or post 30. So life is strange. I mean, you don't necessarily need to, fall into any specific bracket as long as you.
And I think it's maybe a better thing to peak a little later in life than, finish all your achievements and everything in the first 18, 20 years.
Just like in a sporting match, life is all about, like you mentioned, peaking at the right moment.
Yes.
So you may work, you may work very hard, or you may get some brilliant results in the initial stages of your life, but then you may just, crumble at the time when you most need that brilliant performance or brilliant result.
True.
So
tell me, what was a typical day like in Jamshedpur?
So during school, it was, I used to wake up at 6:15, 6:20, which was very late for a 7:40 school.
Yeah.
And I would be pushed out of bed by my dad, and 7:40 till about 2:15 was in school. Post that, obviously, the usual hanging out at home, doing some homework, going out for some outdoor game during the evening, and then back to television and dinner. And could at least in Telco Colony, just drop into somebody's house. The families meeting each other without any occasion.
Yes, unannounced as well.
Unannounced.
It was perfectly okay to just go ring the doorbell and they'd be happy to see you. Yeah, amazing.
And the entire family standing there.
Yeah, amazing, really.
There were a set of 4 or 5 or 6 family friends to whom, to whose houses we could just drop in, and vice versa. And obviously it would be by turns. If we have been there today, maybe a month later or a few weeks later, they would be dropping in. So that kind of took care of many of the evenings.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, Telco Club has got some brilliant memories.
Absolutely.
A movie every weekend, and
the finger chips.
Chips. The gold spot thumbs up, which
yes, absolutely.
So
and the quality vanilla ice cream in a cup.
Yeah.
Not to be missed.
I remember from a very young age, either I was authorized by my parents or I took that liberty. I knew the club membership number and I would just jot it down on the
on the book. And I don't remember my parents at least being very particular about no cold drinks, etc. Like we are with our children, soft drinks only on the weekend and no chocolates through the week. We were signing away and eating whatever we wanted. I mean, it was so different back then.
Mm-hmm.
So when was the last time you visited Jamshedpur?
So off and on, every 2 or 3 years, I end up being there. In fact, now my parents are also not there. So I kind of plan a trip of my own. I club it with some event which happens in one of the schools. So I think last time I was there in April 2018. There was a talk session at Loyola. And then prior to that, again, there was a talk session in 2016. So I try to, club it with a professional engagement and try to be there every 2 years or so.
Okay, that's great. So, as you go about your high-powered life and all that, do you feel that you still have a small-town boy hidden inside you? Or you've moved out of that zone now?
I think, the most defining part about being a small town boy is being unpretentious. So I guess I continue to remain unpretentious. I continue to be grounded in terms of, the necessary expenses which I incur and not splurging on things which I continue to remain true to relationships, true to bonding. So I guess, that's what really defines or sets apart a small town boy.
All the values that were imbibed in us, that is true. I mean, I feel the same, and I look around me and I see so many of my friends from back home, and we all share that. Absolutely.
So unlike a few other people, I'm very proud of the word Bihari, the word Jampot and Jamshedpur.
So now that you're in Mumbai for so many years and before that in Delhi, has your Hindi, are you still comfortable speaking the way we used to, with hum ja rahe hain, hum aa rahe hain, ek to de do, thonga, things like that, which now I don't get to hear at all, but does that...
With my family members, of course, that's how I speak.
Okay.
That's a very sweet, that has a very sweet tenor to it.
Absolutely.
I remember when I landed up in Jamshedpur a few years ago at the Tata Nagar station, and I was with my wife. We were recently married, and then there was some chaos at the platform, and the policeman had to intervene. Now, I still remember the words and the tenor of that policeman, and he chided the person who was misbehaving, or he chided the person who was just rushing somewhere. Gentleman hai na, gentleman hoke aise behave karenge. So, and that was very sweet, lovely tenor.
Yeah, I know. And in fact, when I went I studied in Pune, I did my college education in Pune. When I went, then I would say, hum ja rahe hain, hum aa rahe hain. Everybody would say, but why are you speaking in the royal plural? I mean, you're just an ordinary person. But it took many, many years for me to get that out of my system. And, so you speak Hindi very fluently. I've watched some of your interviews. So were you always good at Hindi, or is it something that you worked on along the way?
I believe that since I know only two languages well, English and Hindi, I should, it would be unacceptable for me, myself, to not be proficient in both of them. So I right from a young age, I made an effort to make sure that, like I said, since I know these only two languages, I am the best in them.
Yeah,
I guess.
That's great. So how do you think growing up in Jamshedpur has impacted you?
Like I said, the best part is the wonderful mix. It has kept me grounded. It has kept me calm, composed. But at the same time, it has given me the wings to aspire, the wherewithal, the educational wherewithal, the mindset to aspire, and try to be the very best. I think it's
And if you could do something for Jamshedpur or change something about it, what would that be?
A lot of things. I think the kind of today, Adityapur has, and some other parts have actually emerged as a satellite town. So, metro connectivity between let's say a telco colony and the other end of Jamshedpur would improve connectivity across Jamshedpur. Again, there is a big disparity between the health facilities which exist within the city and the ones which exist right outside it. So I guess, if the Tata main hospital and the telco hospital could be more approachable and could be more accommodating towards outside people, of course, I mean, they could always work out the logistics and the set of arrangements they want to go ahead with. But I think, a more uniform health facility across that region, or across at least the entire district, something which needed to be worked out. But the more important part is connectivity. I guess Jamshedpur needs an airport.
Yes.
Or at least.
It's a big deterrent I mean, I would love to visit sometime, but it's always a deterrent. The journey seems so long, and it kind of is discouraging.
Or a freeway or an expressway which connects you to the Ranchi airport, because I think that's the other idea which the government has been working on.
Right.
That would reduce travel time to maybe 1.5 hours between Jamshedpur and Ranchi.
Okay, so I wanted to play a little game with you, like a rapid fire or a word association. I'll say something and you tell me what is the first thing whatever comes to your mind. Of course, this is all related to Jamshedpur. So, okay, Ram Mandir.
Calm, absolute peace of mind.
Yeah, the idols are so beautiful. I remember the idols; they are so beautiful.
Man, it's so sweet. It's huge, and it's away from the main road.
Yes.
It's one of the most beautiful places in Jamshedpur.
And but funnily, if somebody says Ram Mandir, to me, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I don't know whether this is politically correct or no, but because we don't use language like that now anymore, but Pagla Pandit is what comes to my mind. I don't know whether you remember him. So it always brings back memories of him, and whatever he used to speak was always political. बहुत politics भरा पड़ा रहता था उसमें.
But I have seen him across the city.
Absolutely. And he would hold fort, like he would start, and if he collected an audience, he would, really be flamboyant then.
Yeah.
Okay, Kharangaja.
there are 2 or 3 shops which stand out. One is the Chiku Studio.
Yes.
So whenever we had to click a family photograph, in those days again, one didn't have the luxury of a cell phone, of a high-end cell phone which could
Even
churn
a
out.
camera.
Yeah. Then the sweet shops, some of the sweet shops, North Bengal, that sweet shop, and I remember I used to go and fetch. In those days, used to have that video libraries.
Yes.
So I remember I used to go and fetch the latest movie releases from some of those video libraries.
Yeah, and we had those VCRs back then.
Yeah.
Okay, your first crush?
I guess a teacher in school.
Okay. Dining out in Jamshedpur?
The most convenient dining out used to be the Telco Club. But yes, I mean, on special occasions like my parents' wedding anniversary or my birthday, we would venture out to Jamshedpur or Sakchi, Natraj.
Pani
There
Tanki?
used to be a few which had opened up. Pani Tanki, a great lovers' hideout, which unfortunately I've never been lucky with.
What about Payal Cinema?
Dil To Pagal Hai. That's a movie
Okay.
which I had seen there. So we used to, from school, when we were in standard 11 and 12, we used to make plans and end up being there. Hum Aapke Hain Kaun is something which I guess I have very vivid memories of watching Hum Aapke Hain Kaun over there. But from a location point of view, it was the slightly down market Basant Talkies which used to be more convenient. So every time one decided that post school one had to watch a movie, we would rather go for the Basant Talkies.
And there were no seat numbers if my memory doesn't fail me. So the moment the doors will open, you just rush in and sit wherever you get a place. Yeah. And lastly, Sacred Heart School.
Well, I think Loyolians, the heart to a Loyolian passed through the Sacred Heart. That's how you put it.
Yeah, so true. Okay. So moving on to the next chapter of your life, writing. So how did you always dream of? No, you said you didn't actually. So how did you get into writing? Was it something that at some point you began to realize, or it was accidental? How did that happen?
It was very serendipitous, I would say, because those who have a lot of time in life are not doing much can end up becoming a writer. But on a serious note, it requires a huge amount of discipline, a huge amount of dedication. So I honestly came to Bombay to pursue dreams of being an actor. And it's like I took out 6 months of my life when I was 23. I had got my first job. I thought this is the time when it's a now or never time when one could give those or set those 6 months aside to pursue something which I have believed in or which I would like to pursue, so that I don't have regrets later in life. But when you land up in Bombay, 6 months is too short a time. The moment you land up in Bombay, you more often than not decide that this is where you want to be. And gradually, it was a process of self-discovery. It was very easy to break in as a television scriptwriter, which I managed to do, which again was serendipitous because somebody I was in touch with convinced me of the idea that you'd make a very articulate or a good screenwriter. And 2 years down the line after that, I realized that screenwriting, at least for television, was usually restrictive in the sense you were basically doing a servicing job. You were executing stuff that the broadcaster, the production house wanted you to assemble or put together. And that is when the Indian publishing scenario was opening up with new age Indian fiction books. And in 2006, I was lucky to break in as one of the, one of the first of those Indian writers to make a mark in the scenario. So my first book came out in 2006, which was a book called That Thing Called Love, which was a tale of complex relationships set in Mumbai. And the entire story unfolded during one Mumbai monsoon, where the rains formed a very important backdrop. Post the success of that book went on to become a huge success. I realized that writing books is what, is the way ahead, or I think that's the journey for the next many years. But the challenge was to not stick to one genre, to raise the bar and to try to attempt as many different genres as possible. And so I consciously I consciously decided that my first 5 books are going to be very different from one another. So the second was a cricket thriller, the third was a political thriller, the fourth was a socio-political thriller. So that's what the journey has been.
So among all the novels that you've written, which did you find the most challenging?
The Edge of Desire, because that was written entirely in the voice of a woman who had been raped.
Right.
So to live a contemporary, educated woman's character for whom life virtually comes to an end because of that incident, and how she gathers her life again and fights back and goes on to become, a leader of the country. I think that was very challenging.
From writing, you made a very, very unusual shift. Not a shift, but an unusual, I would say you carved a very unusual path for yourself and you entered politics. How did that happen?
So there is a politician in every Bihari, as you say. So politics, apart from the groundwork which all of the Karyakartas do, it has a role for intellectuals, it has a role for legal experts. And I guess the role which intellectuals have is to further the vision, the policy vision which a party would espouse or want. It's more about the idea of India that you see. So I would say communications and intellect form a very important part in creating political narratives. And that has opportunities for intellectuals and for writers and for people who are thinkers. And that's what I have focused on in the last few years. So there is a space for people who create narratives.
Right. What I want to know is, if you ask children what they want to grow up and become, you'll hear a whole range of answers, from the more common engineer, doctor, to even the wild imagination of little children when they say train driver or ice cream wala or something. But very rarely do you hear politician. Why do you think that is the case, and what do you think needs to change?
So you would not hear them want to become writers also. Writers and politicians are people who haven't managed to succeed in anything else in life. But I guess, in the last 6 years, we've seen a lot of change in that perception, insofar as politics is concerned, and in the last 10 years, insofar as writing is concerned. Because now I think there are kids who are pretty candid, but at the same time, the real people know what the working styles were pre-2014, what it is now. So today, I don't think kids would have a problem with them actually saying that I want to grow up to be a politician.
Okay, what's next for you?
So there are 2 books. What I have done is, it's been a long sabbatical from books because I've been consumed with the larger pursuit. Politics, I've been active in politics. But now the lockdown had given me time to actually revisit books. So hopefully in the next 1 year, or before that, probably by March, April, one would see 2 releases of mine. One is a book on Birsa Munda, the legend of Birsa Munda, because I realized I had to revisit and reconnect with Jharkhand in a bigger way. And the story of Birsa Munda is very fascinating.
Okay.
So that's one of the books, The Legend of Birsa Munda. And another book is an espionage thriller,
Okay.
espionage cum medico thriller with COVID-19 as the backdrop, which takes on China in a big way.
Oh, wow. Sounds
Plus, there are other
interesting.
books that are in the pipeline, but that's the writing bit. Politically, I'm active as a spokesperson, as you have seen on television.
Absolutely.
And once this COVID crisis subsides, there are other plans, which let's see when we come to that.
Okay, so it's been such a scintillating conversation and enlightening discussion that I completely lost track of time. I think we are coming to a close, so it's time for a wrap. And
Wonderful.
I wanted to thank you once again for making time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Well, thank you for letting me relive this experience of invoking memories of Jamshedpur. They're all very brilliant, very lovable memories, which have contributed to me being where I am. And you're a great host. So.
Well, I think you brought that out in me then, if you say so. And the pleasure's been all mine. It was really a very, very engaging and captivating chat. And with that, I would like to wish you every success. I hope you achieve everything that you ever dreamed of. And wishing you good luck in the world. And I wish nothing but the very best for you.
Thank you so much. I wish every Telcoite and the lovely people who have initiated this movement for Telcoites, ex-Telcoites. I wish them the very best. Rishi has been brilliant in organizing this and getting people together. And I hope, I wish you great luck.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Tuhin Sinha, author and politician. So grounded and so rooted, and our very own Jamshedpurian. Now coming back to some more Gana Bajana. Sujan, are you here? Yes. So what are you singing for us now?
This song actually I dedicated to Yasudas. Okay, it's a wonderful song by him. I'm just trying to sing it. Okay? Let's start.
Okay. Yes, sure.
बेहद हसी ऐसे बुरे हम भी नहीं माना हो तुम बेहद हसी ऐसे बुरे हम भी नहीं देखो कभी तो प्यार से डरते हो क्यों इकरार से माना हो तुम बेहद हसी ऐसे भूले हम भी नहीं। खुलता नहीं कुछ दिल रुबा, तुम हमसे खुश हो या हो खफा। तिरछी नज़र तीखी अदा, लगते हो क्यों बेसार से। देखो कभी तो प्यार से, डरते हो क्यों इकरार से। माना हो तुम बेहद हसी ऐसे बुरे हम भी नहीं। तुम दो कदम दो साथ चले, आसान हो जाए सफर। छोड़ो ये दुनिया कर, छोड़ो न दिलकार से। देखो कभी तो प्यार से, डरते हो क्यों इकरार से। माना हो तुम बेहद हसी ऐसे भूले हम भी नहीं। देखो कभी तो प्यार से, डरते हो क्यों इकरार से। Okay, so now I'm going to the next song. That is a wonderful song by Kishore Kumar ji. Okay. घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं, घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं। कभी इस पग में कभी उस पग में बंधता ही रहा हूँ मैं घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं। कभी टूट गया कभी तोड़ा गया 100 बार मुझे दिल तोड़ा गया कभी टूट गया कभी तोड़ा गया 100 बार मुझे दिल तोड़ा गया यूं लुट लुट के और मिट मिट के बनता ही रहा हूँ मैं घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं। मैं करता रहा औरों की कहीं मेरी बात मेरे मन ही में रही मैं करता रहा औरों की कहीं मेरी बात मेरे मन ही में रही कभी लुट लुट के कभी मिट मिट के बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा। Okay, Roopa, I finished my song.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Okay.
Really enjoyable, and you sing so well. Okay, so thank you so much for.
Did you get the? Did you get the sound perfectly?
Yes, yes, we could hear clearly. And I'd like to thank you. Thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you here. And now, Sonali,
Thank you.
you're most welcome. Sonali, are you here?
Right here.
Right. Good to see you again. So,
Same here. Good
all set for your next song?
Butterflies. Let's
What
let things
butterflies?
just take over.
You are such an expert singer, such a talented singer. What butterflies?
Is the sound coming through? Is the sound coming fine?
Yes.
The
Unish,
music and my coming through?
Yes.
Okay. So shall I go into my third one?
yes, please do.
This I am totally on Kishore Kumar's spree, as I told you. So the third one also is from the film Zahirila Insan, a much favorite, I think, of most of the audience, O Hansini. So let me start. मेरी हंसनी another of my favorites. These are all few of the innumerable songs that we've heard in our growing up years. We've sung along in the radio and can't stop. It's very difficult to select just a few handful from this vast treasure. This is another very popular and favorite one. Please overlook my mistakes. It's a difficult one. Mere Naina Sawan Bhado Mehbooba.
Awesome. That was really nice. I've got goosebumps. Splendid. So, do you want to? I mean, do you want to squeeze in one more quick song?
Do we have time?
Well, we started late, so but if you're ready with another song, we'd be happy to hear you.
Is the audience wanting it too? Hopefully, since I'm not getting direct feedback from audience, so I'll take the advantage and present one last song.
Oh.
This is from Kati Patang, Ye Jo Mohabbat Hai.
Oh, nice.
Kishore Kumar. Yes. Oh, टूटे अगर सागर नया सागर कोई ले ले, मेरे खुदा दिल से कोई किसी से ना खेले, दिल टूट जाए तो क्या हो अनजान, ये जो मोहब्बत है ये उल्टा है काम, महबूब का जो बस लेते हुए ना मर जाए, लग जाए, हो जाए बदनाम, रहने दो छोड़ो भी जाने दो यार, हम ना करेंगे प्यार, रहने दो छोड़ो भी जाने दो यार, हम ना करेंगे प्यार. That's it all from me. Thank you so much.
Lovely, lovely.
Enjoyed it.
Khub bhalo, Sonali.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for singing for us. As I said earlier, it's a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you so much. I hope all of Jamshedpur, whoever logged in, has enjoyed the entire program in totality. Thank you so much.
Yes, and with this, we come to the end of the show. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did putting it together. A big thank you to Paul from Bangalore, my classmate Saina from LFS, her son, who despite being in the 10th, helped us with the edit, and Arpito Gop for technical support. A big shout out to the team that has worked tirelessly and selflessly to put this together. Anindya Mitra, Rishi Nakwi, Sonali Datta, Indrani Bhattacharya, Sukanya Chakravarti, and Dipanjan Nag. And of course, a big, big thank you to all of you who joined in and encouraged us with your presence. Please do write in with your inputs and suggestions. We value your feedback. And we look forward to seeing you real soon with our next episode. Till then, good night, take care, and tata.